Hello, welcome to the latest edition of Last Bell Boxing. Today we're joined by Dec Spelman. Good evening, Dec. Thanks for taking the time to join us.
Yeah, boys, you all right?
Otherwise known as Kidnap, and we'll come on to that in a bit. And we've also got Andy as well. How you going, Andy?
Yeah, great, mate. Good to see you again, Dec.
And you, mate?
So, Dec, we'll jump straight into it because we don't want to keep you too long. So I'll hand over to Andy, who's got a couple of questions to ask you. All right, fella?
Yeah, no problem.
So first and foremost, mate, you looked happy at your new weight. I know it was only a small, it was 6-rounder, wasn't it, over in Newark? Blew a few cobwebs away, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, to be honest, that's all it really did. I mean, I ballooned up. I went having, 16, 17 months out, and I ballooned up, and it was like, I got the weight down, and I needed a date to get me back into that routine, training all the time, and I needed a date to focus on. So I got a date, and I got, on paper, it was a credible opponent. You know what I mean? He was not a half decent record, and I thought he was going to bring a little bit more than he did, to be honest. But fair play to him, because it's at the minute he's so hard getting opponents at the minute. Ticket selling at the minute is hard, being the home fighter. It's because like you've seen in recent shows on the TV. It's just people are getting 4 or 5 opponents on fight week. It's crazy. So yeah, fair play for Perry out for stepping in, and he did what he could do. But yeah, all it really did was blow the cobwebs off, and it's set me up nicely for this fight now with David Jameson. So yeah.
Bit of a nod to the show. What a great show Cole put on that night.
Brilliant. Yeah. And that's the kind of. I'm glad it was on Fight Zone. A little bit more publicity for him, because you see shows like that, the smaller shows. There's loads going on around the country like that, and they're all hidden. So it was great to get get that kind of exposure and get it up. Like today, I don't know if you've watched Tommy Frank in his British title defence, absolute cracker. That was on Fight Zone as well. So it's great that these shows are getting basically getting the people watching and getting the numbers watching.
You had a few there, though, didn't you, Dec?
Yeah, I do big tickets, mate. Yeah, it's not always been like that. I've built that back in, to be fair, and off basically taking chances as well. It's not always been. I've not always had massive support. I've had a few good knockout runs. And then obviously being in with a few big names, I've just kind of got a bit of a following. I sell tickets from all over now, so yeah, it's nice.
Have you naturally got to that point where you've grown out of light heavy?
I said this before. I could make light heavy if I need to make light heavy. But I'd be happy. I'd like that old cruiserweight catch. Like a 13.5, 13.6. That'd be ideal for me, really. But it's not meant to be. But yeah, I mean, if I could make if I come down at light heavy and I got enough time, I could make it. It was very hard making 12.7 while working full time. That was a big thing, I think. I was scaffolding, and I've had all sorts of jobs, but I was scaffolding, and it was graft, and it was just taking so much out of my body. I was only having so many. Like, I was lucky, really. They gave me a few weeks off before my fight, but even then, it was tough. And I think that played a big part in it, really. And now I'm working. Me and my friend have got a gym now, and it's his gym. I'm basically just teach boxing through the day now, and I'm in a great position now. So probably in a better position if I was to make light heavy again, but. The way the cruiserweight division is, it's so open, and I'm sparring good cruisers at the minute all the time, and I'm more than holding my own. So yeah, why not? Why can't my future be a cruiserweight?
So you've had this great opportunity come up, the IBO international fight against Dave Jameson. Is that how you pronounce his name?
Yeah.
What do you know about this kid?
So he boxed a friend of mine. An old stable mate, Dan Cooper, in the Prize Fighter, Ulmer boxer. Big, strong unit, fairly fit. Looking at I'll be honest with you, I've not really looked much into him. I know. I watched his fight when he won the IBO Continental belt. Obviously, watched his bit, and I watched his fight with the Wild because I wanted to see if he ran the same approach with somebody firing back with him what's equally as strong. And he seemed to really come, and he only seems to know one way, and that's forward. And he throws lots of punches in bunches, and he's got quite a high work rate. But I leave that down to Al Oster, my coach. He's a very clever guy, and I'm sure. Well, yeah, I know he has. Anyway, we've got a plan which we'll be working on, and hopefully it works.
Get into the Lions Den a bit there, Dec.
Yeah, it's nothing new to me really now. You know, I quite look forward to it, to be honest. It's boxing at Hydro Arena. I mean, places like this is like, I never dream of boxing people. Like when I turned over, he was like, "Well, someone said to me, in 8-9 years' time, you're going to be fighting at Hydro Arena for the IBO Continental title." I'd laugh at them. You know what I mean? So I'm winning whatever happens.
Do you thrive off it, Dec? Some fighters thrive off it, don't they?
Yeah, I don't know. It's I suppose I do. Yeah, I suppose I do. Yeah.
It's a big card, isn't it? And a rankings world title fight on the same card as well. Yeah.
And that's all. Fight Zone as well. Yeah, they're killing it at the minute. So yeah, it's a good card to be on. And once again, great publicity again, and hopefully it'll be another belt to add to the collection.
Hopefully so, mate. Dave Jamieson's a local lad, I believe.
Yeah, he's Scottish. Yeah.
You've been in with your fair share of fights in recent times where you'd be probably classed as the underdog. If we're talking, the later fights at light heavy.
Yeah.
This obviously doesn't affect you. You're not bothered that sort of thing doesn't put you off.
No. I mean, look, he's not going to be. He's not as. He's not going to have the style of a. He's not as tall as a Shaq Pitter. He's not as slick as a Lyndon Arthur, and I don't think he's in the same leagues as them as for your boxing ability. But he also brings something different. What I probably haven't seen, which is just raw strength coming forward, strong. He's a big guy, So I realise I get the challenge what's ahead of me, and I think it's going to be something different what I haven't seen, which would be a nice box to tick off, and it's something I'm 100% confident in coping with.
If you look at your two's resumes side by side, you've clearly been in with the bigger class fighter. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, he's 32-year-old as well. He's 8-1 in a year, so his one loss come from in Ultimate Boxer against Lowell, which is obviously no disgrace in that.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're pushing him. Obviously 32. I think they're pushing the fast tracking him. So yeah, we'll see. But I'm 100% confident I'm coming away with that win.
Dec, I've been looking a little bit at what could be happening for you in the future after this fight. Let's assume you're going to win this, which you're going to. We have all the confidence in the world in you. So there's obviously a few routes you can go down. If you do decide to take the IBO route, the current champion's Jack Massey,
which I'm sparring regular.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So it's a bit of a sticky one, that. Which, he's a good lad, Jack. And we learn a lot of each other, to be honest. It's very good sparring. So
okay.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, that. But yeah, I do a lot of rounds with Jack at the minute. So we'll see about that one. But yeah, there's a few routes you can go down, definitely. And I haven't thought of that far ahead yet. I want the belt first, and then I'll decide.
Yeah.
Sure, of course. But there is. Having taken on board what you've just said there, there is a few vacant belts about as well.
Yeah, like I said earlier, the division is so wide open; it's unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, look, I got offered silly. I got offered silly fights that last week, 2 days notice, and I could have took. I thought, well, what? Do I want to go down that route? If I want to go down that route, I'll go down that route. But I don't want to now. I've took my fights on the way. I took Lyndon Arthur at 4 weeks. I took Yard at 2 weeks. I took the Shaq Pitters fight. I didn't have a full run at. You know what I mean? I think it was only about 4.5, 5 weeks for the Shaq fight. Now that was my own voluntary defence. It's kind of got moved forward. So yeah, I'm done taking fights at short notice unless it's under my terms. You know what I mean? And
sure.
And I feel like I deserve that now. Do you know what I mean? I've took enough. I took enough chances in my career so far. But I want more fights are right for me as long as I'm at the. I've only possibly got another couple of years myself. I'm 30 years old. I turned pro at 21, 22 years old. So I've been in the game a while now. I've had a roller coaster career. So I want to kind of finish it coming towards it now with a few nice belts and a few quid, to be honest.
Yeah.
One more from me, and then I'll hand you over to Carl. Is it important then that you keep him busy then going forward, and you've obviously got this one. You're just going to focus on this, but is it important that you get another fight and another target, and another date fairly quickly after this fight?
Yeah, that I obviously after this fight I was straight on with Carl. You know what's the plans? I was pretty much an Ultimate Boxer. The one was coming up, and then obviously this come up. I said like I fancy what a crack at the eye, but I didn't actually at the time know he had this David Jameson had it.
Right.
I think what about an IBO and IBO Continental and he says, and then it come up on my feed. I actually had him on my Facebook, and I was like, bloody hell. So I says, oh, what's this kid like? Is he any good? And Carl said, oh, it's an easy fight to make. That if you fancied it. So obviously this is before my last fight anyway. And so there's a few things for getting floated about, and then he says, oh, they're doing a Cruiser Ultimate Boxer if you fancy it. I thought, yeah, I do fancy that again. But then it also goes back down to, I had a chat with my coach Al, and it goes back down to the fact of what do I want to do? Like, don't want to go down that route again. Do kind of go for the quick money, or don't want to win titles and belts and possibly the reality is, like you just said, I'm sparring regular with Jack, but if I win this IBO Continental, I have one defense. He puts me like in line for an IBO.
Yeah,
title shot. You know what I mean? And like, what a thing that is to say. What an achievable for that. It's amazing. So realistically, for my career, I just thought, yeah, I'll take this fight and see what happens.
So you're thinking about the bigger picture rather than a quick buck, basically.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Good to hear. So I've got the short end of the stick here, Dec. So I'm the one who's going to ask you some questions that we've had sent in by our viewers. So
yeah,
don't hold this against me, will you?
Yeah, go on.
The first question is, why have you got the alias of Kid Nitro?
That was someone said that to me in the amateurs we were sparring, and we were doing round after round, and there was me, a lad called Anto, and Jamie Hughes, who was a good lad as well. And this kid was getting a bit of a paggering, and he said he gave him a nickname, and then he just come out and he said, "And Kid Nitro or something over there," and he just made up on the spot. And I thought, I like that. I thought I'm going to keep that, and I just kept it.
Well, they'd never have guessed that one, would they?
No, that's it.
So the next one, Dec, is what do you consider your toughest fight to have been?
Toughest fight was Lyndon Arthur. Lyndon Arthur was very good. He had brilliant ring IQ and ring generalship as well. But I absolutely killed my centimetre weight for that fight. It was just an opportunity. I couldn't. The gym was closed. He was in lockdown. The gyms were. My gym was fully closed. I didn't have a gym to go to. I was just running, doing my little bit of running. I was tossing it off, basically. I'll be honest. I was tossing it off, and like a lot of boxers was though. A lot of boxers switched off, and I'm not going to say the exact weights I got down because I'll probably get done by a few people. So not, but I've dropped a significant amount of weight for that fight, and I was absolutely dead. And when I got in there, if you watch the fight, the first round, I was fresh, boom, going in. And then after that, my legs just packed in, and it felt like I was punching underwater. It felt like I was trying to move underwater. It was a weird feeling, and I remember just thinking, Jesus, this guy's good. And I don't know whether it was because he was very good or I was just very, shocked a bit, at the weight. But it was an hard night's work. That it was 12 rounds as well. And I remember just getting peppered with a jab, and I couldn't get out of the way of it. And I remember just thinking, this guy's good. And he showed that, and I got my prediction right in the first yard and half of the fight. Everyone was asking me, and I got it down to a T because I just couldn't see how I was going to get past the jab. And funnily enough, I got the second prediction right as well because I just thought, now being in with him, you know what he's got. Once you take the jab away, he has got good feet, but Yard would have known that going in. He just needed to put the pressure on a little bit earlier, and that's what he's in really. But I don't know. I don't think that was a full story, to be honest, because Lyndon didn't look himself. I don't really know what happened there, but yeah, it'd be an interesting it would never happen, but if number 3 happened between them, it'd be an interesting fight.
Yeah. Next question: biggest punch you've been in with, which is slightly different.
Biggest punch is John McIntyre.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, by a country mile.
And then next question is, what's your favourite shot to throw?
Say again, sorry.
Your favourite shot to throw? Favourite punch?
you know what? The one thing we've been really working on, which I'm loving at the minute, is the variations of the jab, which is something we I'll study boxers look to inside out, and like a lot of the old school, the really old school throwback fighters, and we've got this little thing going now. And at the minute, I'm really loving working the jab. But I would say my left hook, I love my left hook. To like my first slot, boom, little short shot from here, but. I think at the minute I'm loving that variety of the jab at the minute, and I think that's something you're going to see coming into this fight also.
Did you see Savannah Marshall's left up last night?
Yeah, Jesus.
you wouldn't want to be on the end of that, would you?
No, you would. No.
And the last one from the viewers is favourite venue that you fought in.
Yeah, that's the favourite venue. But you know what? It's a bit of a weird one. So I would say my hometown. I nearly sold out the hometown. There was a lot of people. Nearly sold out the venue, and it was the first time. Let me get this right. 16 or 19 years had been professional boxing in my hometown, and so I bring it back, and it was packed out. For that fight, it wasn't packed out. But when I boxed Kurt Garvey, we went back. I boxed Kurt Garvey for the English title, and he was champion. Everyone really come out, and it was unbelievable. I mean, the scenes were amazing. But so as a night goes, I would say that. But you can't beat York Hall. York Hall was somewhere for me where, and I love that. That's one of my favourite fights as well. As mad as it sounds, even though I didn't get the nod on the decision, the Shakan Peters fight for me was obviously the second one. The other boxer was a bit of a 3-rounder, wasn't it? But that's one of my favourite fights to be involved in that, and I loved every bit of the venue. I took plenty down there. He had a good crowd. You had the likes of like Joe Calzaghe, was an idol of mine growing up, watching the fight. So that was a big night for me. So yeah, I would say York Hall, Bethnal Green.
Brilliant. And then we had Carl Greaves on Friday night. I'm going to ask you for a couple of predictions that we asked Carl for. So Tyson Fury versus Dillian White. How do you think that plays out?
Yeah, I think it could get. It's not as easy as everyone would be thinking. I think Dillian could give him problems early on. To be honest, he's a bit unorthodox. But I think in the end, Fury would stop him. Yeah.
And then AJ versus Lucic. I'd see that one playing out. Good one, that one.
It is a good one, yeah. I just can't see. I just think Usic's got Joshua's number. I just think the guy is so clever and just. I don't know. I just can't see. I can see a way. I think if Joshua comes out and just street fights him, basically, he bulldozes him. It goes back to the AJ, what we've seen in 0 to 10 fights, comes out ruthless, bam, 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 bam. But at the same time, can you do that with somebody as good as Usyk? Would he just figure you out straight away? I think he possibly could. So yeah, I would say Usyk again. Usyk points.
Okay, cheers, Dec. I'll hand you back to Andy.
Thank you.
So Dec, Friday the 13th of May, unless the date's been changed. I believe it might be the Saturday now. SSE Arena, Hydro Arena in Glasgow.
Yeah.
For the IBO International Cruiserweight title. I'm guessing you have tickets to sell.
Yeah, I've got a few. Yeah, and it's looking like from the way my inbox. That's another thing. I mean, it's. I think a few of the lads have booked the train from my way, and it's get on it at 10 to 10 and done a ride there till 3:15. It's a right trek, and I mean, fair play to. And then you've got your train money, which is it's a fortune at the minute. You got your ticket, you got your hotel, and obviously the booze and the it's an expensive night. So just fair play for anyone that's going to come up and support me, and it's looking like I'm going to take a load up there, to be honest.
For people that are interested after they've watched this show back, how do they get all the tickets? Do they need to come to you direct?
Yeah, drop me an inbox. I'll post them out. I can post them out if it's afar, and and if they're local, then I'll just post them myself and post them. So yeah, like I said, any sport would be amazing up there because he's a big ticket seller. I think he's a bit of a name up there, to be honest. So yeah, it'd be nice to take a few up. If you want to
drop Cole your details, mate, we'll add them onto the bottom of this video when we put it out.
Yeah, nice one, mate. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll sort that out. No problem.
Nice.
Anything else? Oh
No, Dec, good luck with your fight, fella. I'll be watching. So I just want to wish you all the best for your fight in Scotland, mate. Thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it. Okay.
No problem. Thanks for having me. Cheers.
Thanks, pal.
See you later, mate. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Dec. Cheers.
Right.